Hi, and welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. Thanks for joining us. Just a note, I am pre-recording today, so we're not technically live due to travel schedules, but we'll do our best to not pretend we're live, but to have the kind of conversation we would if we were live. So as many of you know, I previously spoke with the head of HCLTech, CVK, and I'll provide a link to that interview if you want to know more about the company and their leadership. But today, I'm particularly happy to speak with Siki Giunta, who is going to talk about their new cloud report. Siki is the Executive VP and Head of CloudSMART Offerings Strategy and the Industry Cloud Consulting. So welcome, Siki. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Karen.
Yeah. So you've just released this new study titled Cloud Evolution, Make Innovation a Habit. And of course, innovation was a big part of what CVK spoke about in terms of your culture there. So I'm very eager to hear about that. But in the study, you surveyed 500 senior business and technology leaders across 17 different industries, 11 countries. So a pretty broad survey of what's going on with cloud today. And I would love to just dive into the key insights from that. So I've got several here picked out I want to make sure we cover, but maybe you could start with one that particularly spoke to you.
First of all, I think we try to cover both the technology side and the business side.
Yes.
Because as we know, cloud technology is an element of growth for the business.
Yes.
We started with cost reductions and just a very, techy environment for the developers. But today, any business uses cloud technology to grow their business, to reach their client, to make more cars, to make, better product to enable their supply chain. So we reached both of them, and we still found that there is a little bit of the right side and the left side not talking to each other.
Okay, so integrated into the business, but the parts of the business aren't quite integrated yet.
No, not all, and I think it's more an industry specific trend. And as well, it is a company generational trend. If you have a company that it was born or was created in the late 90s, technology was the driver. But company that they were a long-lasting company, they're still in their own transformation where technology is the driver of their business. I think at the board level, actually, cloud conversation happen all the time, and innovation conversation happen all the time. Is how that gets executed at the lower level sometimes is not as well coordinated as it could be, and I think as well is reflected on the fact that only 35% or 40% of business has been moved to the cloud or even totally implemented in the cloud today.
Yeah. Well, so much opportunity and potential there, both for cloud providers as well as companies taking advantage of it. So one of the key findings that you found is that strategies are really having to transform pretty rapidly in order to keep up with the changing business needs and evolving technologies. So would you say more about that in terms of what you found?
So what we found is, first of all, is geographically is different. That's one important thing. The second important things we found is the skill gaps. The skill gap that in any large enterprise have, and how they reorganize in their operating model, sometimes is the piece that is slowing down everybody. So if you try to operate in the old processes with old mentality and skills, the adoption of cloud technology slows down. And that obviously the rotation of the people and their skill, because doing cloud, it is a technology transformation. People need to learn new skills, need to abandon certain type of skills that they have and evolve it. And so that in itself has become another very important area where the report has brought us, and as well, us at HCLTech, we concentrate quite a lot in our CloudSMART strategy conversation with the clients, and how are we going to rotate your people, your organization to be able to adopt cloud. Otherwise, it's going to be really concentrated in a piece of the business and not in the fabric of the business.
Yes. So having those skills sort of broadly spread across the organization actually also begins to address some of the issues you were speaking of at the beginning. So that absolutely makes sense to me. You mentioned a geographic difference as well. Is that just the general geographic difference in terms of technology adoption, or something specific to the cloud?
I think it is very much in line with technology adoptions. Obviously, North America and Europe, they progress more or less in the same way. Europe, especially when it relates to data gravity and the ability to use technology across territory, it is a little bit more constrained. North America is a big swath of people where data can flow around in the continent. That makes adoption a little bit easier. Asia is still, we call it an emerging market. Obviously, some areas are more advanced than others. If you go New Zealand, Australia is probably more similar to, European adoptions. As well, again, it is where are the skills and skills and how you can rotate a generation to a new generation to be able to use it. Again, industry, financial services, for instance, did a big adoption of cloud, thought about cost reductions, then slowed down a little bit. And now, instead of moving workloads to the cloud, they are concentrating on actually redesigning their business process and building brand new cloud native solutions as well, because they've been under pressure from fintech that it is born in the cloud, totally innovative, fast and agile. So industry put pressure on the adoption of cloud as well because of the competitive nature of each industry there.
Of course. Yeah, that makes so much sense. So another major finding was that not all businesses are using cloud technology to the full. Now, I mean, we know that, right? Because they have the skills gap, as you say, there are geography differences. There are cloud native organizations and those that are now transforming into that. But they also said they could boost innovation if they use the cloud more effectively. So say more about that. How are people using the cloud to boost innovation?
So there isn't any innovation today, technical innovation, that doesn't run on cloud. So if you want to use IoT, automation, artificial intelligence, Gen AI and everything, you have to deal that runs on a cloud, that the combination of the services will run on one of the hyperscalers or any technology ecosystem, but it is cloud-based. And what does it mean is that you need to have the mentality and the skill of aggregate the service and be ready to deliver at a certain speed. But innovation, cloud is the base of innovation. Any new innovative technology trend is built on the foundation of cloud services. I mean, we all talk about Gen AI. Gen AI is a service on top of a cloud architecture, that being Microsoft, that being Amazon, that being Google, but it is at the base. You need the foundation of cloud computing and storage and all the service of each of the hyperscaler provider, and then you snap in the platform to be able to do innovation. And that innovation is from supply chain to, Gen AI that everybody talks about, to sustainability. You aggregate the services in cloud, and then you deploy it for the use of the business.
Yeah. So a real shift to cloud first or cloud forward strategies for organizations. Oh, that's really interesting. So you mentioned a few ways that people are using innovation in the cloud. Can you give some examples?
Absolutely. I'll give you a great example for life science company that we all know. You know, in life science, the longest period to take a drug to market is the trial period.
Yes.
Okay. And during COVID, everybody had to reduce the trial period, normally 36 months, to below 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
which we're all grateful for. Yes.
We are all grateful for. And the fastest we can do that, there are a lot higher mountains than just COVID to cover. Think about cancer and many other. And when we work with Merck, we did a presentation, a reInvent with AWS. The ability to redesign the process in cloud technology and move and modernize the entire sequence of the application together at the speed of the business, or as well to elastically enlarge a period of the trial when you have to churn a lot of data and then reduce that capacity and move to the next step, really helped them a lot to reduce the time from the traditional 36 months to 18 to 12 months. And so that helps everybody, helps Merck obviously, but helps humanity as a whole. I mean, we now see in retail has been revolutionized by the adoption of cloud and the connections with the end user, the ability to very simply understand the preference of a client, only just looking at what they click and how they click, and then provide the ability to select products. It's really incredibly made supply chain in a virtual way for retailers much more usable for everybody, and the growth, and as well, change it from I got to go to a shop to just deliver it to my house every day. So without cloud technology, we wouldn't have been able to do that in such a short time as we've done in the last 24 to 36 months.
Well, we all talk about how this moment, sort of in this pivotal moment right now with AI and sort of the accessibility now, I think, of generative AI, but that's all built on the back of the cloud.
Yes.
Right. No cloud, no great advances here, at least not that would be accessible for most of us.
Yes. And why cloud, and at HCLTech, we say all the time to our clients, why cloud technology is pivotal for Gen AI is because the ability to aggregate a lot of data points, and then on that data points, having the ability to provide intelligence on demand. Really, you ask a question, you get an answer, or you get a composite answer, or you get some trending of the data and things like that. But the problem that we have today, and we have in CloudSMART, we spend a lot of time with the clients to say, what's your North Star and how you want to go there? You will see that in an enterprise that is different than the Gen AI for end user, the guy that asked ChatGPT, can you tell me, how to write a letter? That's different. But the use of Gen AI in enterprise, it's limited by the data availability that they have.
Yes.
And remember, intelligence is limited to the gravitas of the data and the validated data, so that you can take your proof of concept and deliver it to the business to be used. So there are two journeys that enterprises are doing today. First of all, the proof of concept, can we answer certain questions? But second, right in parallel, is how can I connect as much data so that my answer are validated by the gravitas, by the volumetric of the data. And then I can make intelligence out of it that the business can use. Because intelligence and analytics, you have to have enough data to do that. So the journey of the data to cloud, or the connectivity of the data to the cloud, it is an interesting challenge that clients have today.
Yes, there's so many sort of interesting statistics in this report. One, just on this topic, 58% noted their business has increased or planning to increase investment in generative AI. 85% believe it's only possible with the right cloud strategy. We have to wonder what the other 15% are doing, but 85% definitely on board with cloud.
85, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody wants Gen AI. Everybody knows that they have to do the journey of adoption of cloud, the reskilling, the operating model. That's where, at HCL we can help. We can supplement the skill. We can provide the right strategy. In some cases, we can take it all. But I can tell you that more and more, we work in a combined way with our clients for their innovation, because us doing innovation for somebody without the company embracing innovation themselves, it becomes short-lived. It's a great relationship, but then we need to have the entire corporations to embrace their innovations all the time. The rest, what he's doing is, I think there is always a part of the company or certain of the market that he wants to jump a phase, and say, wait, and say, I really don't need to do that. I'm just abandoning this type of technology and I'm going to jump directly to the new technology if their business allows them to do it.
Yes.
I was talking to a client yesterday, said, but can I not do Gen AI? And I say, there is no doctor tells you that you have to do Gen AI. Just the competitors in your market are doing a plethora of use cases, and they're building their own models. That's the important piece of Gen AI, is that everybody thinks it's equal to everybody. It isn't. At the enterprise level, you will need to create models that are specific to your business, and they will become the competitive advantage of the use of Gen AI.
Yes. Yeah.
Your intimacy with the data, your own models, that is the understanding of the business, then that will make Gen AI a competitive advantage.
Yeah. Another area that this report addressed was security worries. Yes. Could you say a little bit about what you found in that area?
So I think the generic security worry about, cloud is less secure than my data center, is just move on. That I don't think people have grown to understand that the cloud provider embed security at the core, so it is more safe than a data center where people can walk out with data and drives and everything. So that is moved on. The security is because the cloud is inherent network connected and internet connected. The worries are moving to, will my data be exposed to ransomware, to the wide area network, and any way that a hacker can get through the network side. And so that it's still a very cyber security for cloud. It is an evolving science. And it's more than an evolving science. I think at the enterprise level has to become a stricter behavioral model for the people. It's exactly like you have to train your people to the skill of cloud. You will have to train your people to the skill of cyber. And at HCL, we do a lot of cyber evaluations, penetrations. We sell a lot of services on trying to enable the client to have a very secure perimeter cloud implementations that follow the controls required by their business. Because remember, we have GDPR in Europe, you have HIPAA, you have private informations, all just that related to data. And when you have data in the cloud, you have to implement security controls and continuously review the security
Absolutely.
control.
Yeah, yeah, because nothing is standing still on the inbound.
No.
Siki, I have one more question for you about the report, and that is just, was there anything in the report that surprised you? Anything that you got back from the questions that you asked?
I think what did surprise me a little bit was surprised in the good. The fact that the world is, that the market out there is sensitized to the fact that cloud is going to be industry specific. You know, we've been talking about industry cloud for a long time. What does it mean? What does it not mean? But in the report, there is clearly understanding that cloud will be adapted to an industry for the benefits of an industry, and applications are going to be making that cloud specific to that industry. And we go back, security enable for life science, for healthcare, security application enable specifically for financial services. I'm just talking about security, but when you talk about supply chain transformations, that is specific for manufacturing, for instance, the concatenation of the cloud solutions that speaks and enable manufacturing. That gives me a lot of comfort. I think the fact that they ask yes to the question, that doesn't mean that the world is ready to embrace industry-specific solutions, but at least we are on the journey to understand that cloud is not just one color. Cloud, it is not just horizontal services. Right. Cloud is specific to each of the industry. And at HCLTech, we spend a lot of time with our own people and the client to say, how can we make this cloud implementation transformation specific to your business to bring cost reduction and obviously competitive advantage.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Siki. I so appreciate your time today. And just for those who are listening, speaking today with Siki Giunta, who is the head of, I'm going to make sure I get your title right this time, Executive VP and Head of CloudSMART Offering Strategy and Industry Cloud Consulting for HCLTech. They've just released a new survey on the cloud, and we'll link to that in the notes below. Thank you again, and really appreciate you joining and shedding some light on what's happening in the world of cloud today. Thank you, Siki.
Thank you, Karen.